Hello friends, welcome back to today's class. So in the previous class we have seen your intensity slicing and its related examples. We have went through 2 to 3 examples on how intensity slicing is helping us to uh, clearly identify the objects in an image. You can see this was the one of the example and even this one wherein we tried to check about on a monochrome image. Later that monochrome image was converted into a 8 color image and we tried to notice how the different lobes were clearly visible. Okay. Then we moved ahead to this image wherein we tried to check upon the welding, whatever the welding was there, how it could be clearly identified. That we tried to see in this image. This was the second example. Then finally the third example, here we came across the image of a rainfall, which was very much important, the rainfall example, and here we tried to get the data regarding the dense areas, the areas wherein it was quite difficult for the human beings to travel. And if you remember from the previous video, it was these images were taken from the satellite. These are the satellite images, and later they were processed using your intensity slicing method, and then we tried to understand where there was a high amount of rainfall and where there was less amount of rainfall. Okay, so these all were covered in the previous lecture, and moving ahead today we'll try to see upon the next transformation, which we call as intensity to color transformation. Okay, so whatever we have seen till now, that is other types of transformation, these were capable of wide range of pseudo color enhancements, and the result of what we got from this was using a simple slicing technique which we just now saw. All the pseudo color enhancement what we tried to do was by using a simple slicing technique. Okay, so what was the idea then? What was the idea here was, whatever the idea we'll try to do now is, we'll try to perform 3 independent transformations. What we'll be doing here is we'll try to perform 3 independent transformations, as you can see in the slide. You can see here the first transformation would be the red transformation, the next transformation is your green transformation, and the blue transformation. That means we are trying to do the transformations of individual color of 3 intensities, whatever we have, we are trying to do those transformation on the input pixels. Then these 3 results will be fed separately into red, green and blue. You can observe here, these are separately fed into red, green and blue. That means what we are trying to do, friends, first we'll do the transformation here. First we'll do the transformation. We'll take one f of xy. You can observe here, you will take one f of xy. After taking f of xy, what we'll be doing is we'll divide it into 3 particular transformations. The first being the red, the next being the green and the third being the blue. Then we will obtain their individual transformations. That means from our f of xy, you can observe we have got f of rxy, we have got your f of gxy, and we have also got your f of bxy. Once we get all these 3 transformations, after getting all the 3 transformations, we will be trying to feed it into a colored television monitor. That means whatever the monitor, will take all the 3 transformations. I'll just rub it out. So these 3 transformations will take it out, and then these will be fed into a color television monitor. So whatever the method we are trying to do now, it will produce a composite image wherein the color content is modulated. You can observe that each color content is modulated, which was not happening in your earlier technique, that is intensity slicing technique. Okay, and one more very important thing about this transformation is that the intensity values of the image and are changed and not the functions. See here, friends, once we do these transformations, the intensity values of the image will be changed but not the functions. That is very much important. And to give you a small difference between the previous technique and this technique, there we used a piecewise linear function. Whatever in intensity slicing we did, we used a piecewise linear function, no doubt of the intensity itself, and using that we used to generate the colors. But here what we'll be doing is, it will be a smooth non-linear function. So there is a difference between the function which we are using in this method and the earlier method. In this method we are using a what method, friends? We are using a non-linear function. Remember this, we are using a non-linear function in this method, whereas in the intensity slicing method we used your piecewise method. We used the piecewise method. So this is one of the major difference, that is what function is being used. Here the function being used is, that is f of x. The function being used here is non-linear. The function which was used in the earlier was piecewise. So remember this, very much important. Okay. In order to understand this in further much detail, we'll move ahead with one of the examples. Please observe carefully here. Okay. So whatever you can see here, friends, it is nothing but the first, whatever the first image, the first two images, I mean to say these images, the first two images, these images. Okay. So whatever you can see here, the first two images, these are the monochrome images. These are the monochrome images, and these are the monochrome images of the luggage which is obtained from an airport X-ray scanning system. That means whatever you can see right now, it's an luggage. It's the image of an luggage. Okay, and there are two images. That means these are two different images. Whatever the image you see on the left side, it contains only ordinary articles. You can just observe here, there is a hanger and all those things, x, y, z, etc, etc. Okay, but here you can just see the normal ordinary things, right? But whatever the image you see on the right side here, there is one small change. If you can observe that one small change, what it is, there is this thing. I hope you can observe here, which is not present here. In this image, it is not present. Okay. Now, that means, what is this name, friends? This is nothing but it's a plastic explosive. Okay. So the purpose of taking this example is nothing but we want to show how the intensity level to color transformation will be used to obtain various degrees of enhancement. So if I want to obtain the enhancement, how it could be done using this method. Okay. Now, so we'll understand in much detail once we come to the lower images, I mean to say these images. Okay. So before going that, if I want to show the transformation functions, they would look something like this, friends. So these are my transformation functions. Whatever you see here, these are your transformation functions. So one second, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we were speaking of these functions, friends. What are the functions you can see in this diagram? These are called as transformation functions. Now, these sinusoidal waves, what you are seeing, if I want to find any transformations, then I need to just change the phase and frequency of these waves. What are the waves you can see right now? If I change the phase and frequency of these waves, then we would obtain the different intensity transformations. Okay, so if you can clearly observe here, friends, each sinusoidal wave is corresponding to each color. Like the first sinusoidal wave is corresponding to red, the next is corresponding to blue, green, and the third is corresponding to blue. Okay, now so I hope I am clear here. Once you change the phase and frequency, then you can find the changes in your images. Okay, so say for example, if all the three transformations have same phase and same frequency, then the output will be a monochrome image. So that means I am trying to tell you, if all the in this diagram, if all the waves have the same phase and same frequency in this diagram, if all have same phase and same frequency, then you will be having a monochrome image. Then if I make a small change in the phase, then it will provide us a little change in the pixel size. Okay, so if I change a little, if little I change the phase in these waves, somewhere here or somewhere here, then we can observe some changes in the pixels as well. Okay, so that is very much important, what it is trying to tell you, right? Next, especially say for example, if you have a broad frequencies, these small changes can be observed if the frequencies are very large. Okay, so one more very important thing is the pixels with the intensity values in the steep section will provide us much stronger color content. As a result, we can observe the difference between the amplitude of the three sinusoidal changes. So this is very important. Then finally, if we want to make a small comparison, let us get back to this one now. So say for example, the images which you are seen in this figure 6.24b, that is the lower portion, this one. Okay, just a second. Yeah, that is this lower portion here. Now we'll try to check upon this lower portion. Okay, now so if you see the 6.25a, that is nothing but these waveforms. Okay, if you see these waveforms, so the gray level bands will be corresponding to the explosive, garment bag and the background respectively. And one important thing we have to note here is the explosive and the background have different intensity levels. You can easily observe here the explosive and the background have different intensity levels. But you can, if you clearly observe, if you carefully observe, they are approximately having the same color, right? So if you just go back to this one, if you observe here the background of this image, and the explosive color as well as my marker color all have the same colors. The color is same, but what is the difference, friends? What is the difference? How can you make a note that I am making a circle here? No doubt all are orange color itself, but how you can make out? By simple thing, all three have different intensities. They have different intensities. That's why it is very much clear that I am drawing with the orange, but still you can see it. The background is orange, but still you can see it. The explosive also is in orange, but also you can clearly see it. Okay, so this is very much important. Now similarly in your 6.24c, that is the third figure here, this was obtained by the transformation function of the lower waveforms, that is this waveforms. So C was obtained by 6.25b. Once you do the changes from A to B here, then you will be obtaining there from B to C. Here you will be obtaining from B to C. Now friends, this is very much clear. Please observe carefully. Both B and C, that is 6.24, you can just observe here. Is the explosive visible now? If you compare this and this, is the explosive visible? No. If you compare this and this, no, the explosive is not visible. Why? Because in this case the explosive and the garment bag, okay, what happened in this case? The explosive and the garment bag, they are almost having the same colors. They are almost having the same colors. So that's why you one small thing is what now? You are seeing through the explosive now. You are seeing through the explosive and you can clearly find out that they have identical color assignments, right? So this is very essential, friends. How do you assign the colors? And even though the colors are same, how do you assign the intensities? If you come at the last image here, this image here, if you come at the last image and if you compare the C image and the D image, in the D image you can find out clearly that there is a see-through, clearly see-through for your plastic explosive. But if you go to the C image, you cannot find out that there is some difference. But when you come to B image, it is clearly visible that there is an plastic explosive. Okay. So this is regarding your transformation, friends. And whatever the image you saw here, it was a single monochrome image. And but most of the times, how we have, what is the case we have? We have a case wherein we would like to combine such several monochrome images into a color image that is of our interest. Whatever figure you are seeing right now, it is of a single monochrome image, but our interest is what now? We need to produce a color image. How can you produce a color image? By combining these monochrome images. In that case, you require an additional processing unit which would look something like this. So if you can observe here clearly, friends, you have a f1 of x comma y, f2 of x comma y, and so on. Then you will be getting their corresponding transformations g1, g2 and gk. Then you combine all those things. You combine all those things using an additional processing unit. Thereby it will be giving you finally a new transformation. And this transformation, what it is doing now, it is doing color balancing by combining images and selecting the 3 images for display, which is based on the knowledge about response characteristics. And how the response characteristics is obtained, from where you get the response. The response is obtained with the help of the sensors, which are used to generate the images. Okay, so